Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You've been here before, haven't you? That uneasy feeling, checking the Sixers news over and over, waiting for that update that never quite comes. It's like you can almost see the solution, but the clock keeps ticking and the Sixers keep playing the waiting game. What if I told you there's a player, one who came in mid-season, turned heads instantly, and made you think this guy might just be part of our future, and right now, his future in Philly is hanging by a thread. Here's the twist. The front office says he's their top priority, yet the deal isn't done. So why the holdup? And what happens if it doesn't happen at all? I promise you, by the time we're done here, you'll understand exactly why this negotiation could change the Sixers next season, and maybe their long-term picture. But I'll make you a challenge. Try to guess who I'm talking about before I reveal it later, and drop the moment you figured it out in the comments. Let's see how sharp your Sixers instincts really are. Think about it. This is a player who isn't just another name on the roster. He came in with a point to prove and wasted no time proving it. You saw flashes of scoring, defensive hustle, and that hunger you can't teach. But now, we're in the middle of a contract stalemate. Here's the pain. The Sixers can't afford to let this talent slip through their fingers, but they also can't throw out a number that messes with the team's future flexibility. You've seen this movie before. Players in limbo, whispers of a trade, and the risk of losing control of the situation entirely. Here's what's gnawing at you. The longer this drags on, the more it feels like the other shoe could drop. If he takes a qualifying offer instead of signing a long-term deal, it's like handing him the keys to walk right out of Philly next summer as an unrestricted free agent. No safety net, no leverage. And you know what that means? The front office scrambling, searching for trade partners, trying to salvage value before it's too late. That's not just a front office problem. It's your problem as a fan, because it changes the course of what this team can become. And yet, the Sixers still sit confident, at least publicly. They're telling everyone who listens, this is the guy. He's the priority. The deal's coming. But what does coming mean? Next week? Next month? Right before training camp tips off? The silence is starting to sound louder than the words. You can almost feel the push and pull. On one side, the players' camp knows this could be the first big payday of his career, life-changing money. On the other, the Sixers have to measure today's excitement against tomorrow's reality. Roster depth, salary cap space, and the pieces needed to compete for a title. It's a high-wire act, and every day without a deal makes the rope just a little more slippery. Here's the thing. It's not about whether you like the player. It's about the stakes. You know the Sixers have a core that can't waste seasons, and every single decision, especially when it comes to who you keep and who you let go, ripples through everything else. Get this wrong, and you're not just talking about one guy's contract, you're talking about missed opportunities in trades, flexibility, and the supporting cast around your stars. And maybe you started to wonder, if they really believe he's worth it, why hasn't it happened yet? Are they trying to negotiate from a position of strength, hoping the market stays dry? Or is there more hesitation behind closed doors than they're letting on? The more you think about it, the more it feels like something's brewing under the surface. Here's where the pain really bites. You remember other moments like this. You've watched promising players slip away because the timing or the number wasn't right. You've seen trades that felt like they came too late. And deep down, you know if the Sixers mishandled this, you could be watching highlights of him lighting up another team while wondering what could have been. But there's a flip side, and that's the solution you're holding out for. You want the Sixers to find that sweet spot, a contract that rewards what he's shown, respects what he could become, but doesn't box them in down the line. It's not impossible. It just takes the right timing, the right number, and the conviction to get it done before the window narrows.
Every time you refresh the Sixers news, you're hoping for that headline, "Deal done." You're imagining the sigh of relief, the feeling that one more piece is locked in and you can finally start looking ahead to the season instead of looking over your shoulder at what might fall apart. But for now, it's still a waiting game, one with more at stake than most fans realize. And I'm telling you, if you're not watching this one closely, you might miss the moment it shifts from a quiet negotiation to the kind of headline that blows up every Sixers group chat you're in. The whispers are getting louder, aren't they? One day it's, talks are progressing. The next it's, no rush to get a deal done. You've heard that line before, and you know it can mean one of two things. Either everything's fine or something's quietly going off track. And you've been around long enough as a Sixers fan to know which one usually shows up when the clock starts running out. The truth is, this isn't just about a number on a contract. It's about commitment. The Sixers are saying one thing. You've heard them call this guy their top priority, but actions speak louder than press quotes. If the front office truly believes he's part of the future, why hasn't pen hit paper yet? Could they be testing the market's patience, waiting for the player to blink first? Or are they trying to stretch every last dollar before the season starts? Here's where it gets tricky. There's a very real scenario where he accepts the qualifying offer. And if you know how the NBA works, you know that's basically the equivalent of setting a countdown clock for his exit. You get one more season, sure, but after that, unrestricted free agency. No control, no leverage. You'd be stuck hoping for a trade before the deadline, praying you get back more than just a good effort in return. Now, I want you to really think about this. If he walks next summer, what's the ripple effect? You're not just losing a role player, you're losing depth in the backcourt, defensive versatility, and the momentum he brought when he first stepped onto the court in Philly. That's not something you can just replace with a veteran minimum signing in August. Some voices around the league are saying the Sixers shouldn't overpay. They're throwing around names, comparing cheaper alternatives, and questioning if he's really worth it. But you know what they don't see? They don't see the way he fits next to Tyrese Maxey. They don't see how his defense buys Maxey more freedom to attack. They don't see that fire in his game that Philly fans cling to. Of course, there's a flip side to all of this. Overpay and you risk straining the cap. The Sixers have to think about every dollar, especially with Joel Embiid's massive contract on the books and the need to keep flexibility for future trades. It's a delicate balance, and right now, it feels like the front office is playing chicken with the player camp. And here's where you come in. Do you think they should lock him up now or wait it out? Would you gamble on him taking less later, or would you secure the deal before the uncertainty grows? Drop your answer in the comments, because this is one of those decisions that splits a fan base right down the middle. Now here's my challenge to you. If you've made it this far, type the word priority in the comments so I know you're part of the fans who actually follow the story to the very end. Let's see how many true Sixers supporters we've got here. And after all that suspense, it's time to tell you. The player at the center of all this, the one with the future and Philly hanging in the balance, it's Quentin Grimes. And if you want to keep getting the truth behind every negotiation, every trade rumor, and every piece of Sixers news that could shake the season, then you need to be here when it drops. Hit subscribe, click the bell, and stay locked in, because when this deal finally happens, you'll want to be the first to know.